to this hands-on tutorial on Jupyter Notebook, the interactive coding environment used by data scientists and program around the world. In last lecture, we understood how to install Python, how to install Anaconda Navigator, how to install Jupyter Notebook. And we also understood how to launch Jupyter Notebook using Anaconda Navigator and Anaconda prompt. Today we are going to access Jupyter Notebook directly by opening Jupyter Notebook app, which is already installed when you have installed Anaconda in your system. So to find Jupyter Notebook, you just have to go on search, just write JU, automatically it will find out the Jupyter Notebook for you. You have to double click and the server window will get open. You have to wait till it executes. Once it is done, completed, you will see with web browser open with Jupyter Notebook home. What you are seeing is a Jupyter dashboard. Here it's like a file explorer similar to our Windows, and we have a toolbar here which have basic functionalities which we all know. We use it. These are the common functionalities which are used in all the Windows application. In this open from path, you can directly open a file. If you know the exact path, you can just click this and you can paste your path here and it will open that file. New, you have console, notebook, terminal, text, Python file, markdown file. The whichever file you want to open, you can directly create a new file and it will open in the next tab. Settings about some of the common settings which I will recommend is to click and activate this auto close brackets. This will help you a lot in your Python coding in future when we will be doing coding and doing a data analysis. So this will help and save a lot of your time. Help is similar. It's of all the documentation which Jupyter Notebook has, and if you want to refer anything in the documentation or about any command, you will get a detailed reference here. Here you can see two tabs. One is files, which will show your files. It is automatically it will take from a system, and in running you will see what all files, what all kernels, what all terminals are currently running on your system. So right now we are not using, we've not created any Jupyter Notebook. So it is showing nothing there. It's blank. But when we will make the file, we will open a new file. Automatically, it will show you the file name which is running there. Coming back to file, you will see the file names and then you have a checkbox here. You can click on the checkbox and then you can rename it or you can delete it. Also, on this side, you will see the last modified dates when this file was used or this folder was used. Here you will see upload section. So in upload section, we can directly upload. If you do not have a path, you can directly upload from the Windows File Manager. Suppose I want to upload this training file. I will just click here and I will click open. And if I want to open this PDS, I can open this PDS and you will see the PDS is now inside our Jupyter Notebook. Similarly, you can also go back if you want to create a new folder. You can go here, you can create a new folder, and if I place training, and in training, if I want this, I can go, I can do cut, copy, anything you want, and you can directly open here, paste. I want to add one more file. I'll just go in upload. I want to add this logo file. I will just click here and the logo file is here. So now this folder you can see here, it's a file explorer server, and then you have a folder called training, and training you have this files. So you can go back in the files explorer directly by clicking on this icon, and you can see training here, and when you will click here, you can see the PDF file is already uploaded and logo PNG is uploaded. So you can do also right click and you can have new file, new notebook, new folders, anything you want, cut, copy, paste. You can do it and you can paste it in the different folders. So you can move the file from here to another folder. So let us understand how to start a new notebook. Start a new notebook. We will go here in new and we will click here Python 3. So when you will click Python 3, a new tab will get open. That will be a blank tab. And if you want, you can click here and you can save a file name, or else you can close this. If you want to open a file in certain folder, you can go like I want to do in training. I'll go in training and I'll click no. I will click Python terminal. So new file has been created inside the training folder. So by this, you can create your own folder to access your file easily. And the main advantage to add folders and file, why like it have an option to import files from Windows Server File Explorer. But why we create file folder system inside Jupyter, it makes it very easy because when you will load data set, if suppose your data set is in a certain folder which is already a part of Jupyter Notebook, so you do not have to write a big code because when you will import or load dataset from Windows File Explorer, you have to give entire path. You have to write a code of entire path, or you have to copy paste the entire path of file, and you have to paste in the code, and then you have to execute to load that Excel file or CSV file. Whereas if you have those files in your working directory, the folder in which you have you're saving your work, then you do not have to write that big path or copy paste those path. You can directly write load dataset and automatically it will load that dataset in the system. So this makes your uh, task more easier, and it also eliminates the complexity of writing that big path of your Windows file location. So I will recommend whenever you are working in Jupyter Notebook, please make a file or folder in the Jupyter Notebook. We can directly go and click here and we can rename it Jupyter Hands on Training. Now you can see after pressing enter, you can see Jupyter Hands on Training. This file is named. This is auto saved, but I will recommend you to keep saving your files because it is after certain checkpoints. If you see here, it is written last checkpoint is 3 minutes ago. So if this file is not saved, so whatever we have done 3 minutes ago, if we try to recover or we try to open, it will open on that checkpoint. So every time when the checkpoints are created, it will give you time. So whenever you write a code, execute a code, just hit save or control S. So this will now the last checkpoint when we have saved is 3 seconds ago. So what is Jupyter Notebook? So Jupyter Notebook is an open source web application that lets you create and share documentation. It supports live code equations, visualizations, and narrative text. It is widely used in data science, machine learning, statistics, and education. So why we are using Jupyter Notebook? Combines codes, results, and notes in one place. Easy to debug and explore code. Great for data analysis, visualization, and teaching. Exportable to HTML and PDF, Markdown, and many more. So coming ahead, now let's understand the working area. As you can see here, we have a toolbar, and again here new console, same file which we were like in dashboard we saw many of options were deactivated. Now in this workbook we will see all that menu bar is activated now. You can save notebook, then save as, save all. You can rename notebook. You can download it, or you can export it to multiple formats. In edit, you have many editing option for cell, to copy cell, cut cell, paste cell, similar options. In view, it is just about expanding, collapsing the cells, the file browser, table contents, line number. If you want to see the line number, it will show you line numbers. Here is the line number. If you don't want to see, it will go. Run is for running and executing the code. Kernel here, interrupt kernel, restart kernel. Many times you will see when you are doing a coding, your codes are not getting executed because sometimes due to some technical issues, your kernel communication between Jupyter Notebook and Python kernel is stopped or it is interrupted. So in that time, you have to restart the kernel. So if you see Python, it is showing that it is connected to Python, and you will see this dot always blinking. Whenever there will be communication between Jupyter Notebook and Python backend kernel, it will blink. So that means there is a transfer of data. It is using Python kernel to execute that program. Then you have restart kernel and run all cells. If you have coded around like 100 cells and each cell have around average 10 lines of code, and you open Jupyter Notebook again, you closed it and you opened it. So all the functions you have executed successfully without an error. So what happens? Every code is dependent on the previous codes, previous program which you have executed. In data science, if you have done some data cleaning activity, and if you directly execute cell number 10, which is dependent on activity or execution which has been done in cell number 2, 3. So it will show you error because for that cell, still that our code is not executed. So there is no such, whatever code you have written, it will not able to find those changes. So instead of making that mistake and getting errors, you can directly restart kernel and run all cells. So it will start and execute all the cells from top to bottom again. And it also gives you flexibility to run kernel or to run this code like from the selected cell or clear the output of all cells. So you restart the kernels, and if you have executed codes, so there are some plots and graphs, so everything will get restarted and all the output will get collapsed. So it will be deleted. So you have to again execute and get those program executed properly. So there are multiple options. So you will be using reconnect kernel, restart kernel many times. And if you want to shut down the kernel, you will shut down, then automatically Python will not work at the backend. In settings, you have themes, dark theme, light theme, then auto save documents, then you have console, run stop, auto close bracket. This is widely used. I will show you the perfect example of this. In help, the reference and the documentation. Here you will find the like all the shortcuts of save, add cell, cut cell, copy cell, paste cell, run, stop, reload, restart the kernel and run all the cells. So it will execute all the then code, and it has a drop down code markdown raw. So we do not use raw. We mostly use widely is used for coding. We use code cells, and for headings and other things, bullet points or any comments, we use markdown cells. When you write a code, you have to remember what the code is functioning. So what you do, you write a comment and you write a heading of that like loading data set. So you can write a heading of loading data set. Then below cell, you can start writing the code. After that X step is over, again then you will start with the next step called data cleaning. So to remember which part of which code is doing what, So you write an heading, and it's a good practice, because if you are working on some project and suppose you are now not available or you are on leave and someone has to open access your Jupyter Notebook, so he will get that headings and he can understand, or you can also guide properly, like in which part you have done what coding, so he can easily trace that. So for traceability, we comment or we write headings and these things in a proper way, so that we know what that coding is doing, what is the function of that coding, and what steps are being performed there. So let's see one example of markdowns. So before starting with Python, we will start with markdowns. So initially we will understand about these are the cells. Okay. In cells, you can add cells. If you see this logo says insert cell above. So one cell, if you click here, one cell will get added here on the top of that. If you click here and you say one cell like below this cell, below from this cell, the another cell will be added at the below of this cell. If you want to delete, you can delete it. So just remember, when you are in coding, this is activated cell. When you will press A, B, C, D, anything, it will write or type inside the cell. So what you have to do, you have to come out of the cell activation. So you have to just press escape button. So it is now deactivated, but this cell is selected. So now if you press A, it will add a cell. If you press A, it will add above. And if you press B, it will add cell below. And if you want to delete the cell, you have to double press this D button 2 times. So it will delete. Okay. So this is the common shortcuts. Now let us understand about the markdown. So what is markdown? Markdown is like heading, notes, bullet points which you add to describe your cell, or what coding it has. That it's like a index file. So you can directly press M to convert that cell in markdown. See here it was showing code, now it is markdown. And if you press Y, it will again become code cell. So now we will have some markings. So we will convert this cell to markdown. So we will press M, or you can directly select from here code, or you can select markdown. So what we have to write, we can decide here. So for any heading, we have to start it from by using hash. So if you have hash, and if I write Jupyter one hash, and if I want to uh, make the font more smaller, I can use two hash. Okay. And similarly, as if you use three hash, like increasing numbers, it will automatically decrease the size of your heading. So now let's see how this works. So when you will enter, it will go to next cell. So you can do like this, or you can go here and you can do run, or you can just if you want to run this, then you just have to press shift plus enter. So it will execute the program. So in markdown cell, if you see with single hash, you have bigger font size, then little bit smaller when you use double hash, then little more smaller font when you use triple hash. So you have to give hash command even in a code cell. If this is a code cell, even if you want to comment inside the code cell, you don't want to do a markdown, so no problem. You can directly give hash here, and you can write Jupyter, and then if you write a command like print hello, and then shift enter. So you see the headings are not changed because we have not converted it into markdown cell. We made it a code cell. In code cell we just wrote by we placed hash here in front of this. So when you uh, start with hash, that line will become a comment line. So you don't need to that will not be executed by Python. So it will not show you any error. But if you do not use hash and you try to execute program, so it will not execute. Why? Because see, it's showing error. What is error? You can see here, it is showing in the arrow mark 1 Jupyter. And you have a name error. Name Jupyter is not defined. So now Python kernel is trying to understand that this is a part of code which you have not defined properly. So it is giving you an error message and asking you to correct that line. If we just place an hash here in front of Jupyter and we just again execute the program by pressing shift enter. So it will now when you put place a hash in front of Jupyter, it is Python has understood that this is a comment. This is not a part of program. So similarly, you can write various comments here hash hello code to identify your what that line of code is doing, the functionality. So you can keeping yourself ready to understand because after writing 100 lines of code, you will not remember why and where I have done that. So it is a good habit to mark down your coding, to have comments in your coding so that it will help you to understand and recall why you have written those lines wherever this is important. If you're doing some special data analysis, you're adding some features in data, so you can mark or you can comment there so you can understand what features you have worked out in this below codes. Okay, moving ahead now. um, this is a normal markdown, but what happens if I have to do writing in bold? So for writing, if you are doing a bold, you do it markdown by pressing M also you can do. Okay, so now it's a markdown cell. So what we will do, we will do double hash this double asterisk and we will write notebook, and again we will close it with double asterisk, and when you will run it, so it is in bold. And if you want to write in italic, so you can just write an underscore notebook and close it with underscore. See, now it is a code. So if I will try to execute this, it by pressing shift and enter, it will show error because again Python is trying to understand that this is some sort of code which has a syntax error. So what we will do, we will change it to markdown cell, and then if you see now this code is executed and it is in italic. So now let's understand how to write a bullet points. Suppose I have written anaconda. Below we have to use hyphen Jupyter enter Python. So before doing this, you just convert it to markdown cell and then you press enter. So like this, you have created an heading and then you have created a bullet point. So like this, you can use your headings markups in well formatted manner for your future projects. So let's write some Python code because we have understood the markdown now. Let's understand the Python code. So we will write print. The print is a very basic command, and I like in start I said why you have to do auto close brackets. See, when you press shift and you just try to open a bracket, automatically it will close the bracket. And if you write, if you add an inverted comma, it will automatically start and ending. So you just have to write hello world. Very basic, very every language has this hello world program, and execute it by shift enter. If you do not activate that auto close bracket, then what you have to do? Let's see. So now we have removed this activation of auto close brackets. So let's see how it will perform. So I will write print. I will write again same. When I will open bracket, it will open only with single. And then again I have to put inverted commas. And then I have to write hello Python. Then close and then close bracket and execute. So it takes a lot of time. That is why I told you to do that setting. That will be very useful for your all future coding work. So I hope you have understood what is the importance of this. Okay, let's see again. It is open. Yeah, it's now done. Moving ahead, we will write a simple code like simple mathematics. X is equal to 10, then y is equal to 5, x into y plus 20. And then we will execute this program. Okay, let's a space here 20, and then we'll execute the program. So you will get the basic math calculation. We also know that Python is very good for visualizations, and Jupyter Notebook has this libraries already installed like matplotlib. So we will see one example of matplotlib. So initially, when you have to uh, recall or libraries, because there are many libraries installed, so you have to recall that libraries to your workbook. Or so what we will do, we'll write import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. So now we will be referring matplotlib everywhere in the code as plt. So now it's imported. So we will go with plt. So dot say figure bracket fixed size. So we are defining the size of our plot area. Uh, Suppose let it be 6 by 6. So we have already opened a bracket. So 6 by 4. Let's use 6 by 4. So it is 6 by 4 inches. Then plt dot plot. What plot we have to make? So we have to give one data point which we have to use. So we will use square brackets. So 1 dash 2 dash comma 3. Then again we have to put comma, then open square bracket, sorry, square bracket, then 20, 30. Okay. So we have given the data points. So we have to give a title for this plot. plt dot title open bracket demo plot. So we are going to write it demo plot. This will be the title of our graph. Then we have to place write a code for x level or y level, means x axis and y axis. So we will just write PLT. You can write any title here. It is like you are giving labeling x axis and y axis. X label, you can write Jupyter, or you can write numbers. I will write x axis so that it is easy to understand. X axis, you can change your name. Here you have to change that name. Then PLT dot y label, bracket open, y dash axis, and then enter. Then if you want a grid line for properly placing that line graph, so you can use PLT dot grid, and it should be shown in the plot. So we write true and enter. And now PLT dot show, put the bracket, and then we will shift enter and execute the program. It will take time, but your graph is ready. So now you will be wondering why we have not placed, we have given 1, 2, 3, so why it is 1, 1.25, 1.50, 1. It is because Matplotlib automatically fills the gap. So our area was 6 inches and 4 inches in height. So automatically it will fix the gap, and you can see here it is already fitted the value which can be fitted in this area equally. So that is why you are seeing this, but that's not problem because your plotting and accuracy is not impacted by that. But if you want only what data you have given, so there is a command which you can use, and in future when we will understand matplotlib, then we will understand about that. So it is not a problem. It's a simple thing. You can define in a simple code or simple command. It is a syntax and like x tick and y ticks. So by using those things, you can just command Python that do not use your random values. Use only what I have provided. So it will only distribute between 1, 2, 3. Now we have not given that command, so it is automatically uniformly distributing the data points equally in the area. So there are many things which we have learned today about markdowns, about writing codes, and about I've shown you example of matplotlib. So now you have got a brief idea what type of data analysis we are going to have, and we have understood the useful keywords, keyboard shortcuts like shift plus enter for run cell, A and B to insert cell, E skip. Always remember, you should be the cell should not be in active state. If you press A, it will write A inside the cell. So all the shortcut command will not work. So you have to press escape and come out of the cell, and the selection will be there. You just press M, Y for code type, and M for markdown type. And then double D, if you press D 2 times, it will delete the cell, and control S for saving the notebook. Okay. And after that, once you have done with your programs, you can also save the file as a what we do, or save as, you can rename the file. Like if I have Jupyter hands-on training, so I can rename it Jupyter hands-on training 01. So you can make multiple copies so that your original copy remains safe, or you can download it. So when you will click in the Jupyter Notebook, this file has been downloaded in your download section. And if you want to export this, you can export in this much format. And importantly, like if you want to export in PDF, so you can do in PDF. But because when you will do in first time, you will not able to export PDF because there are some libraries and some extensions which we have to install. Many of you will face problems, so you can download my resource which I have provided, and you can go in the last section. There is given the PDF troubleshooting. You can just follow the step, and if it is not happening, then you can reach out to me. I will help you. So when you will just click HTML, the PDF will this Jupyter Notebook will get in HTML file, and if you do save as PDF, so it will get in PDF format. So it will open a new window and it will export in PDF, but it will take a lot of time to convert. So you have to keep a patience when you are exporting in PDF. So now our file is exported in PDF. You can see all our file which we have done. The exercise is exported properly here. So now you know how to download or export the files. One more thing which is important is working with images, because when you will be doing machine learning or data in data science or image processing programs, then you have to load images not only for coding or for any project. You can just import your logo, your any images which you want to use as a markdown or a reference. So we'll just create this as a markdown, and then we will write a code called exclamation mark, then alt text, close bracket, then open bracket, logo dot png. So you remember I have pasted a logo png file in my working directory, training directory. So if you have those files in your directory, you can directly use those without a big path. If you are importing image from some Windows file, then you have to write complete path. Or if you want to write a source file from website, then instead of logo PNG, you have to copy paste that path, URL path. So instead of pasting website, I'm directly using what file I have already added. I'll just run the code. So you see this preview academy. This file is already there in my training file logo png. It's not required that you have to name it logo png. So now our file is running. Let's see what is in running. So in running we have Python kernel, then we have this untitled when we changed it to Jupyter hands-on training. So Jupyter Notebook is saved in this for extension IPYNB. So any file, all Jupyter Notebook will have this extension when you are using Python kernel. So okay, so this was the today's hands-on demo on Jupyter Notebook, and you can download the Jupyter Notebook training file. Okay, thank you. And in next lecture, we are going to understand about basics of Python used for data science. So we will not be using Python extensively like coders for application builder, but we will understand and learn basic concepts which are going to be used in our future data science activities and projects. Okay, thank you.